Hi, and welcome to Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network. It's Wednesday, July 7th. I am, of course, your host, Nick Capozzi. You can follow me on Twitter at Nick Capozzi, Nickcapozzi. It's Wednesday, so you know who we always have on Wednesday. It's Gray Day. Hi, Gray. Welcome to Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network, brother.
Hey, what's going on, man? I was thinking maybe for your Twitter handle, you do at supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
That's a good idea. So I just blew.
Aren't you supposed to be the marketing guy?
No, I'm the host, man.
What kind of Twitter handle do you have to spell out?
Listen, you don't even tweet.
No, but I
All right, so
Razzball.
Stata zit. Nothing from you. You don't get to talk. Okay, so I just blew your mind, Gray. Did I not?
Yeah.
And
My mind is officially blown.
And not because of the Twitter handle. I just showed Gray. I can't show you right now, but we've got the truck wrap design for the tour. Of course, we're hosting 32 fantasy draft parties in 32 straight days and all 32 pro football studies in America, starting August the 4th in Seattle. Get your tickets at razzballtour.com. Did you want to take that call?
No, I was just doing. I was mirroring the painting in the back.
Hey, real quick, last point about the tour, and we're going to get into fantasy baseball.
Good thing the painting isn't Michelangelo's man. Actually, that would be a good thing, because then I'd put that sucker on eBay and I'll be making bank.
Hey, you want to meet Gray, the Razzball legend? Well, he's going to be at the tour stop in San Diego. We are having it at the wicked awesome Player Sports Bar at 7601 Claremont Mesa Boulevard in San Diego. We are there on August the 7th. It is your one and only opportunity on this tour to meet this guy right here, Gray Albright.
What day of the week is that?
Monday, Tuesday. I think it's a Thursday. Yeah, it's a Thursday.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm making that.
Are you actually going to shake Razzball fans' hands? Are you going to have to wear like gloves?
After I wear a surgeon's glove, yep.
Okay, good stuff. All right.
I put on the glove and I touch the hands. Glad-handed and kissing babies all across Razzball Nation.
No, you're just coming to San Diego. Guru and I are doing the whole tour. Jerong's going to be out on part of it. Sky's going to be out on part of it. Smokey's going to be there on part of it. I'm flying guys in and out. We're big time.
Oh, my God.
At least in our own minds. Okay, let's get some fantasy baseball. So, Arismendi Alcantara got called up for the Cubbies to replace Darwin Barney, who's on paternity leave. He's not relevant this year. He's just up for a couple of days. But let's talk from a keeper and dynasty perspective, because this guy in the minors this year, he was a little bit Jose Reyes light. 10 home runs, 11 triples, 25 doubles, 21 steals, and a 307 average. You like him long term?
Yeah, I do. I think Baez probably has a bit more upside if we're talking Cubs specifically. I think you're probably looking at more of a steals guy than a power steals guy. Maybe a few. I don't think he's going to get to 10 homers in the majors in probably the first year that he's there. I don't know. Maybe he builds out a little bit and grows into his power, but I would say probably more like a 7-homer guy than like right now he has 10 in July, so that's like a 20-homer guy over the course of a season, which I don't think he is. Maybe he is a 10-homer guy, but you're looking at that's about the ceiling, I would say. Okay. In the majors, that is. More steals. I would trust him more to steal maybe 25, 30 bases, which is great. I'm all for it. I like our CDs, but some Alcacunum. Did I say his name right?
I think you did. Here's another question. Where are the Cubs going to play all these infielders? Because they've got Bryant, Baez, now Addison Russell, Alcantara. What the heck are they going to do with all these infield? And we haven't even gotten to Starlin Castro, who's probably going to see his way out of town sooner rather than later.
Yeah, Castro is probably going to go to the highest bidder, which will be either the Red Sox, Yankees, Dodgers.
What are you talking about? All three are set up at shortstop.
Yeah, when you say someone will go to the highest bidder in major leagues, you're essentially talking about like 4 teams. Castro probably won't be on the Padres. In other
Okay.
words, yeah, I would say that Darwin Barney's going to be out of town. He'll probably be gone by this time next year. I don't know if he's going to go. I mean, if whatchamacallit, if Epstein gets the right package, he'll be gone in July. He'll be gone this month. Castro, that is. I think more than likely, Barney will go for a piece of like nothing, whatever anyone's got. Essentially, prospect who is way not is off the radar. Pretty much is what Barney's going to pull.
Off the radar.
Yeah, off the radar. And yeah, and they'll clear out, and guys will come in, and it's going to be a whole new day, brand new day, like Sting likes to say. You know what I'm saying? Oh, here comes a freestyle. Homie, you don't know me. I like my tiramisu with mascarpone.
All right, stop rapping, Gray. Jacob deGrom 11K'd the Bravehearts yesterday. He's had 4 good starts in a row, 6% ownership. Is he becoming mixed league viable?
No.
Okay, moving right along. They DL Joey Votto. It's about time because he has been a hot mess this year. Let me throw this out at you. I actually made a trade in a keeper league last night. At the time, I had a few, insert beer sponsor here, so my awareness maybe was not up to snuff. But in a keeper league.
What exactly sponsor is this? Is this for EPT?
Hold on. You know what? I tell you what. We're going to go to break in a second. I don't even know what EPT is. We'll go to a break. We'll come back.
Early pregnancy test.
Oh my gosh, dude.
You said awareness.
All right. I want to talk about Joey Votto long term, but we'll do that right after this break here on Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network. Hi, we're back on Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network. We were talking about Joey Votto before the break. So I was trying to get into this trade I made a keeper league. I shipped JD Martinez for Joey Votto. 10 keepers, no draft picks or costs attached to them. There's no penalties on it. Was that a good trade?
Yeah. Who made that trade? You can't. I mean, it's not. See, first of all, it's not really fair if you're in a 12-team league and you make 11 Gmail aliases and every owner is you. It's not a fair trade. You can't just make up a league and trade with yourself and then pretend like you did a good trade. Of course that's a good trade. Who made that trade?
I think people are frustrated with Joey Votto.
Oh, I'm sure they are. But for JD Martinez, Nick.
Listen, this guy was in win now mode.
I thought you were going to say he was in Wilmington, because then that would also make sense.
Actually, no, it's my buddy Will. I made that deal with Will. So, Will, you have been called out by Gray. So, where are you taking Joey Votto next year?
He's probably around, I would say, the fourth or fifth in 12 teams. So, around 50 overall.
Okay. Let's talk about Casey McGahee. I don't understand why the Marlins won't trade him, but more importantly, how is it mathematically possible to have 1 home run and 53 RBI?
That reminds me of 2 years ago, Ruben Tejada led off for the Mets and had, I believe, 67 runs for the year. And he led off the whole year, and he had like a 280 average. And I used to say, well, it's like, how can someone have like a 280 plus average and have only 67 runs and bat leadoff? It's like, it seems statistically impossible.
The worst part about McGahee only having 1 home run is that the 3 fans who come out to Marlins games never get to see that monstrosity in center field go off.
Yeah, right. The vomiting unicorn. McGahee has reinvented himself in Japan, a lot like Cheap Trick. I don't know what that means.
So why won't they trade him?
Live at Budokan.
Why won't they trade McGahee?
I think that was just a really bad reverse psychology ploy by the Marlins. Of course, they're going to trade McGahee if they get the right offer. I never heard of such a thing. It's like one of the more ridiculous things I've heard so far this in this trading season, that the Marlins refuse to trade McGahee. Refuse for what? Trade if they got like a number 5 starter, I would trade McGahee and the Marlins. What use is he?
Yeah, the Marlins are out to lunch when it comes to trading. Did you hear actually last week that the Astros have an internal application for basically their own internal trade dialogue, and it got leaked? So there was some trade. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I did.
There was some trade proposals out there. One of them, I think they offered Lomo for Altuve and Springer.
Yeah, I know. It's sort of like the trades that I offered to you in the RCL.
Let's not talk about the RCL. Razzball Commentators League Championship.
Yeah, I was at first place, 8th place. What's up?
All right. Addison Reed blew up again yesterday for the D-backs. Ziegler's probably the replacement when it does happen, because it's going to happen. But is there anyone else there we should be considering, or is it just when it happens, it's Ziegler?
Yeah, no, I think it's Ziegler. I wouldn't worry about anyone else. I'm not even, Kirk Gibson, as he does his slow motion fist pump around the clubhouse, and I'm not even sure if he necessarily wants to change out the closer necessarily. So I wouldn't go further than Ziegler. Ziegler's the guy if he does change it, but he hasn't. He said emphatically he has not even discussed it with his coaches about changing Reed, which
means it's going to happen over the All-Star break.
No, actually, I feel like this is kind of like grounds to fire him, because if you haven't even discussed your terrible closer with your coaches, my question is to you, why? Why wouldn't you discuss that? Your closer's terrible. Wouldn't you at least turn to your coach and be like, he's pretty bad? Like, even if it's like not an extended conversation, you would discuss it at least.
All right.
That seems negligent.
Ziegler is available in 85% of leagues. Go get him. Josh Beckett hits the DL after going on a date with Alyssa from LA. He's just going to miss a start or two, right?
Yeah, probably only one start with the All-Star break. It's similar to how you Dervish missed a start last year with the All-Star break. It's just basically I think it's just a sore hip that is. I think Beckett said that it's not a big deal, and the Dodgers have said it's not a big deal. So as far as I'm concerned, it's one start.
He got elicited. Frequent commentator, big shout out here to Big Magoo, said the other day, he actually posted in the comments, Kemp's triple slash line across 112 plate appearances in June, 317, 375, 525. You buying that he's heating up?
Yeah, I would say that Kemp is probably a good target if you're looking to buy low on someone, because he hasn't really. I don't think he's the 40-40 guy that he claimed he was going to be, and that other some fantasy baseball people might think that he could have been. But he's probably not going to get the steals. He should get some power, and he's hitting for a good average, and he's striking out a lot less, like you said. I think it's a good call. I would look at grabbing Kemp if you can get him for cheap.
All right, another Wong Dong last night. Kolten Wong has 2 in his last 3 games. You buying him right now?
I think there's only certain states you can buy Wong. I believe it's in Nevada.
Stop.
What?
Kolten Wong?
The Cardinals second baseman. Yeah. I would say he's more of a pickup than a buy. I wouldn't necessarily trade for him, but I would grab him if he was available in my league. I think he's sort of like a Dustin Pedroia type, where he could hit for some power, steal some bases, hit for a decent average. He's not exactly doing that necessarily right now, but he can.
Available in 90% of leagues. Okay, we got a lot more fantasy baseball to get to, and we will do that right after this here on Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports. We're back. This is Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network. I am Nick Capozzi. This guy right here is Gray Albright, the main guy at Razzball.com. Hey, Gray, guess who's 5th in the majors in home runs? Go ahead, guess.
Uh, Fifth. This is a pretty ridiculous question. Someone, I would say, someone with like 19 homers around. Am I right? At least
Yeah,
on the
pretty
number?
close. 21 homers. Victor Martinez.
Uh,
This season's an outlier, right?
you could have gave me a chance. Yeah. Well, what's surprising to me, most surprising, is that there's been no random reporters from competing team areas that have said, uh, they've rummaged through his trash and said like, maybe this guy is on something. I'm not
No.
saying he is.
No, 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 no. Of course not.
I'm saying I'm surprised there's no reporters that have, accused him of this, because it is sort of bizarre that at 35 years old, he is now suddenly has more power than any other time in his career. I'm not saying this is, anything like Bonds or McGuire or Sosa, or it just seems a little bizarre that suddenly he has so much power this late in his career. Because he was like a 15 homer guy for a while
And
now.
he gave you a 310 average with that.
Yeah, it's good average, definitely. It's solid counting stats. Just the power wasn't really there for him for a while now. Since he left the Indians, however long ago that was. Yeah, I would say I'm not buying it necessarily. Like I think what should we call it? Rudy made a good trade in our league where he traded Victor Martinez for Jordan Zimmerman. It was a needs-based trade,
Yes.
totally fair. It's not necessarily a huge sell high. It's a fair trade, but it's also a good trade, I think. If you need like a pitcher, I would trade Victor Martinez. Definitely. I think you've gotten more than you're going to get out of him the rest of the year.
Okay, this is kind of a mind-blowing stat to me. Jason Kipnis hasn't launched a rocket since April. You were down on him in the preseason, but what kind of upside can we expect for the rest of the season?
I was down on him in a non-sexual way. I didn't like Kipnis coming into the year. I was worried about the fact that he was a first half guy, because I always thought that
Not this year.
Yeah, exactly. But up until this year, he always played better in the first half, and then he trailed off in the second half, which is a concern for me, because it's like, well, if you're not good in the first half and you're not good in the second half, when are you good? And that's sort of the problem right now that we're seeing with Kipnis. He has not been good. He's, I think he's probably, I would say, someone who I would sell low, which is most times is a terrible idea to sell low. It's like, when in 1999 when Apple was at 20 and I sold low on it, that was like, I'm a moron.
You didn't have any money in 1999. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. I put all my paper route money together.
Okay, let me ask you this way. Who would you rather have rest of season, Kolten Wong or Jason Kipnis?
I would go Kipnis simply for the
Upside.
possibility of the regression back to his good times. Hey, good times. But yeah, I don't want Kipnis necessarily, but in that scenario, I would take him.
All right, speaking of the tribe, Trevor Bauer outdueled Tanaka last night. He's given up 2 walks in each of his last 4 starts, which for him is an improvement. Is he finally starting to get it together, or are you still ignoring him? Because I know you haven't been high on him as well.
Now, I'm not really interested in Bauer in probably, I would say, 14-team and shallower mixed leagues. I wouldn't mess with him. Unless it's a stream situation, which is.
Dude, don't burp on the air, man. Come on. I'm gonna start giving. That's a yellow card. Need a yellow card here.
Oh, look at you with the fancy soccer talk. Oh, I'm into soccer. It's during the World Cup. Everyone's into soccer.
I haven't had time to
what
watch.
team do you like? I just was at the coffee place and someone said to me, "What team do I like?" I'm like, is this the U.S.? I mean, what? It's like the one sport that you actually, everyone in the same country can root for the same team, isn't it? I mean, wait, what? What do you mean, what team do I like? I don't know. I haven't watched one single minute of the World Cup. I'm totally honest. I haven't watched a single moment.
That's what we love about you, Gray. You're so worldly.
I am.
All right, one more question here before we wrap this up today. Almost every day, the Hittertron, which of course is one of the great tools you can find at Razzball.com under the Tools tab. The Streaminator there is there. The Hittertron DFS spot if you play daily fantasy. And Hittertron basically is, if you're looking for hitting streamers, either for a day, short term, someone gets injured, check it out. Every day it just hates on Alcides Escobar. But the guy hits 287. He's got 40 runs and 21 swipes. Why the hate, Hittertron? Why? Not that you're Hittertron, but, you know, put yourself in Hittertron's virtual shoes.
I am Hittertron. I do not like anything that has a human heart.
But seriously,
I would say that it's probably a matter of a little bit of trail off from his previous season. These, the Hittertron and the other bots, as they're commonly called in the industry. I have no idea what any of that means. It's working off of projections and rest of season projections, and it's a lot of math. And Escobar just hasn't been great up until
So you're saying he's not good at math, is what you're saying?
He's not good at math. That's exactly right. Great way to tie that all up in a tight bow.
All right, great. Listen, we are really jazzed up to have you out to the San Diego tour stop again for Razzball, the Razzball Tour. Get your tickets at razzballtour.com. It is Razzball's 32 fantasy draft parties, 32 straight days, 32 pro football cities across America, powered by the Fantasy Sports Network. It is going to be epic. We're filming this show 32 straight days in 32 cities. You do not want to miss it. I'm Nick Capozzi. That's Gray Albright. Thanks for joining us on Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network. We'll see you tomorrow with Sky and the Guru.